How are you, YouTube? Back here. It's Colby. So I had a thought today, and I was just looking around when I went with my children to what's called story time. They do a story time where a bunch of the kids in the local community will get together and get to do fun things. Mainly the homeschool kids, because they don't get out and see as many of the children, especially the ones that are in school. So they're younger kids, but I just had a thought with the way that money is going and inflation, and I see that wages are not keeping up with inflation. Obviously, a 2% raise at the end of the year is not going to match an 8% inflation, but there's definitely a very real push to weaken the dollar. I saw a number yesterday that if gold increases in value by $26, then the dollar will be worth 1 penny of a dollar from 1970. So the devaluation of the dollar is there. It's been done, and we're so far down along this rabbit hole, and it makes me think, at what point do people stop and go, you know what, a second job is not the answer. Trying to make more money with less time with my family, less time to provide for my basic needs, my mental health, my life. How long do people put up with that before they start to look and go, well, wait a minute, why is the dollar so weak? Where did the value of the dollar go? Because ever since we got off the Bretton Woods standard, the inflation has been increasing. The money in supply has been increasing, which the only thing that works towards doing is devaluing the dollar. And when you look at the numbers, there's 3 people in America, at least, that own 50% of the monetary supply. And that's Jeff Bezos and 2 others. And I draw a blank on the other 2. But it's some of those big, like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and does it matter who else? Because ultimately, the people that are working the jobs, that are making this machine work, they're spending less time with their family. There's less family values. There's less traditional participation. You know, you don't get home from work now and get to sit down and be with your family and have a meal. And then there's also a push, it almost seems, to get rid of traditional family values. People will ask for you to, they'll need their kids watched. They'll need you to watch their kids so that they can work extra hours, which I understand, because you're trying to make ends meet. But if you look at any graph, especially the M2 money supply, the inflation graphs, or the current market trends, everything's going up. Prices are only getting worse. And historically they have since 1971. Nothing has changed. Everything's getting more expensive. And it's not that things are getting more expensive, it's that the dollar has lost all of its value. And it's going to continue to lose value, especially in the geopolitical environment that we're currently sitting in. So my ask of everybody and anybody that watches this, the 2 people that'll watch this, is really think about what you're working for. My dad told me when I was young and growing up, he said, you work to live, not live to work. And right now I feel that a whole lot of people are living to work. When I see the number that 67% of the population of America is living paycheck to paycheck, and that is just a remarkable number to me. I cannot fathom that more than half of the country is getting raked over the coals right now so that they can just barely get by. And you know what? People can blame it on the millennials or whatever generation that they want to and point the finger, but there needs to be accountability. And somebody somewhere needs to go, you know what? What do I do? What do I do to participate, to change this? Personally, my choice is I've tried to cut savings where I could. My goal, I got some ducks, right, for eggs. They'll produce eggs, and those eggs will produce babies, and those babies, then I can eat the older ducks. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that model of things that's worked for hundreds of thousands of years, but that's what I'm doing. I also ordered a half a cow, because that's something I don't know if a lot of people really know about that, but there's local ranches, and you go to them and you order half a cow, you pay the butcher cost, and you get fresh beef. You can meet the cow before you eat it. And if you're going to Safeway or going to the grocery store to get get food, you just can't trust that food anymore. You can't trust that meat. Like it was said, and I think it was Pat McNamara with the University of Badassery, really like his stuff, really support that guy. But he said if it comes in a package or a bag or box, it's a product, not food. And that's very real. Think about what you're putting in your bodies. Look at what you're eating and consuming. Look at what your kids are eating and consuming. And on that note, I mean, mainly, let your kids be kids. Kids make mistakes. Be understanding, be forgiving, be patient, but be a leader and guide them into a life that they can be proud of, where they know how to solve problems. Like I posted a video of my daughter. We went to a rock climbing place at City Rock here in Colorado Springs, which is a little ways away from me, but it was a nice trip. It was good to just get away and let her and my youngest go and climb these rocks, because what it teaches them is that you don't have to have all the answers and you don't have to have all the information, but you have to know that you have the ability to look for it, and that you have the power to change things, and that you are a person. I'm very proud of her. I mean, she did a 30-foot plus rock wall like it was nothing at 5 years old, and it didn't take any encouragement from me or bribery. I didn't have to con her into doing it. So just think about that. Think about what you're doing for your family, and when all you can do is work more jobs, you're breaking down your family unit. Your kids are going to resent you for that, for being gone all the time. There's a meme I see frequently that says, in 20 years, the only person that'll remember that you worked late tonight is your kids. And that's the reality of it. Your kids are the future. So if the future looks bleak, we need to do something now to change it. And this isn't the call to action. It's just an assessment of your own personal values, and say, do you care more about your children, your legacy, your future, your country? Or do you care more about your government and your work hours and your paycheck and your bank account? Because realistically, inflation's going to go up. They're going to print more money. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So make the decisions today that can set you up for the future. Together, I think we can make it work. Get on a homestead if you can. My dream is to have a homestead, and I currently don't have a homestead. I live in a town of under 2,000 people out in the middle of rural America in the breadbasket. I grew up doing wheat harvest and cutting and branding cattle, and I got to see where meat came from a young age, and I'm grateful for that. At the time, I might not have understood that, but as a parent, my parents I think did right by me. What can you say? Appreciate it. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Check out my Twitter link in the bottom. You might not agree with what I say, but hopefully you find something educational and useful here. A whole lot of other channels to look at too. I'm not the only one out here trying to spread this message. So thank you very much. Have a good day.